death row. I mean, when Suge walked in the meeting, he popping this dude upside the head, like straight, and steady pushing him to keep walking into the meeting. I'm looking across at this girl, Shard Jones. She was a producer there for Death Row. And I'm looking at her like, I know you see Suge is really hitting this nigga. Like, are we really looking at this? And about 5 seconds later, he telling his homies, jump on the niggas, like beat him up, nothing in the face. And this is a real meeting where everybody in. We all in the damn meeting. Other business stuff about to commence, but the beginning of it started with dude getting served.
Oh, is that right, man? Suge wasn't playing, and he had a slogan over there: "Make it hit or get hit."
Yeah, he gave that slogan to me, man. Because I've heard it told by other people on YouTube and stuff about the get it hit, and that's what he told the producer. But no, actually, he told Darryl Harper that. What happened was Tyrone was the other guy that was in the room with me, that room that they called the whack room. So he and I shared that room 12 hours apiece every day. And one of his songs got picked up. Well, Pac walked in and liked one of his, I think that's what happened. But Suge certainly liked his song. All right. And I turned in a song, but I turned the song to 6 Feet Deep. But I told them it was 2 members of their group that was bomb. 6'8" and 6'9", 6'6" and 6'9". And I said they should lead it. The other 2 dudes, they was a good unit, with y'all background. But what they wanted, every one of them to sing some portion of the song. It came out sounding old, like Bloodstone or something. So Suge didn't too much favor that. So in the meeting, he addressed that. And he said, Tyrone, we like your song, but D Hart, I let them tell you what's wrong. They said they ain't kicking. And he said, man, you got 3 weeks to write a hit or you gonna get hit. And I guess the results was it was a victory story in the end because I wrote that hit. Well, I wrote a song that was it was liked by everybody at Death Row. When I actually ended up finished writing it, Suge, Pac, and Hammer was on the ground. They pulling each other's clothes, fell on the ground, wrestling, talking about this nigga wrote a hit. This nigga went and wrote a hit. I knew right then I wasn't gonna get my ass kicked. Yeah, so.
Man, that's crazy. So it was grown ass men out there just getting hands put on them like that. Record company.
You know what killed me, man, when I hear people say, much like what you told me the other day, Steele, man, if I was there, I would, man, well, it just would have went down. Because I see a lot of people that I know or I've seen situations, people came up there to check Suge. I just personally, I just ain't never seen nobody actually do it. I know
what? I ain't saying that to me to be the toughest nigga in the world, man, but it's one thing a nigga talking slick to you, dog, and it's a whole nother thing a man putting their hands on you, dog, and just making
How would you have handled that, though, Steele? How would you have handled if you went up there to present some beats and then Suge's mentality was, oh, man, I don't like this motherfucking shit. And so he called his homies in there to jump on.
Well, you know what? Anybody get their ass whooped. Now in a situation like that, I go in there, I might have got my ass whooped, man, but somebody would have got shot probably.
Then that's what would have happened, man, because only people I actually saw stand up to him was 2 of his homeboys.
Now I'm pretty sure they was doing pat downs though when you come through the door. So
man, niggas still got their gun in there. I ain't never saw Nate Dogg in there without a gun. Never. Nate Dogg some kind of way had a system. He always, because he wear these like jogging pants or whatever, and you can see his stuff hanging out his pocket. Like, they got them loose jogging pants, so you see the butt hanging out the. Nate Dogg wasn't he might have been singing R&B, man, but Nate Dogg wasn't somebody to mess with. He was but he could switch up.
Yeah, definitely Nate was hood, definitely.
Yeah, Nate wasn't no joke, man. It was a couple of them that just more than just the records. They was about that life, so
definitely.
Yeah. So but I've seen a couple of people say things that to Suge, man. I seen Heron get at him. Rest in peace, Heron. I seen Rock get at him. I seen a couple people that I saw Jewell get at him one day. I saw Jewell say some stuff to Suge one day. Nigga, I know you don't want me to call my homeboy. And he grabbed her around the neck because he didn't want me to view her talking to him like that in my sight. You know, like, so he grabbed and pulled her in the office with him. You know, I was like, he was in the doorway of his office and she was, nigga, you know you, woo, 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 you don't. He grabbed her around the neck and grinned, holding his cigar and pulled her in the office with him. You know, because Jewell was gangster too. That was a girl, but she was, you know, she had a little edge on her too.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying, man, I don't believe in playing a tough part because anybody can get caught out of bounds, man, but it's just a certain amount. You know, a man put his hands on you, man, you gonna have to fight. You know, you gonna have to get on.
Yeah, I think that's typically, we won't go down that path too long because that wasn't the worst suspense. And you know, I already told you one of the stories where Pac came back from where Pac didn't come back. Put it that way. They went to Vegas, and Pac lost his life, and Suge called a meeting. Everybody's mandatory. Whenever he had a meeting in his office, most of the time it was death row. Everybody there is mandatory. Ain't nobody supposed to be nowhere else around the studio, in the bathroom, and nowhere. You know, so everybody got to go. We got there, man, and everybody was singing tributes to Pac. Yo there, Hammer, his crew there, Quick is there, Dog Pound, Snoop and them there. I mean, everybody. In the young group we had called Bugatti, it was a female group they were coming with. And everybody singing dedications, but everything is like cover songs that already been out by some star. And I was the only one who had a song already written for Pac after he lost his life, because when they got back from Vegas, I'd already been working on a song. I just didn't know what the song was going to be about. But I had the melody on the piano, what I was messing with. When I heard he lost his life, I went to grab that, pulled it up, and I guess I was just really over-inspired. The words came like, you know, like facts, you know, and I wrote the song, called background in, had to call the musicians in, so it was almost completed by the time they got back from Vegas. But one of the other writers with me, Reggie Lamb, he knew I had finished it. I think he was on the background. So he moved over to me in that meeting when they singing dedications for Pac, because everybody down there crying. And he moved over. He said, man, you the only nigga got a song for Pac. This your time you ought to sing this for everybody in the room. And they sounded good to me. So I snuck out of Suge's office, out of the red room. That's what they call it, red room. And I snuck out, and I went down to the vault, the place we called the vault, where we kept tapes, because Suge prevented anybody from leaving out of the studio with tapes or DATs or whatever. Stuff was getting out, you know, so he had to leave everything in a vault. The security had to let you in to get it. So I went down there, got my dad, and I went to the studio in the back. Studio in the back was in close proximity to Suge's office, where they in there singing, where they in there doing dedication. Everybody's sad. My biggest mistake was I didn't look at the council. The last person in there had it blasting. So it was turned all the way up. So when I went to cue the tape up, I pressed play for a second, and it blasted. And they heard and shit.
Heard in his office.
And the minute I pushed stop, you heard Suge say, "Who the fuck in my motherfucking studio?" And I heard the very nigga that told me to go get my song, "That's D Harp in your studio." And I heard him say, "Tell that motherfucker to come here right now." Man, I got to the doorway of that office. That nigga snatched me around the neck, man. And this is some grown ass shit, man, because I'm looking at OFTB, all these other niggas behind me, looking like all he had to do was nod his head. They'll help Suge, like whatever. And I'm good with all of them. We really good, but they all kind of hurt. Everybody kind of, you know, they just lost their biggest artist. And they look like they would have vented on me. Like, nigga, Suge, we'll help you, you know. So I looked at it and I turned my neck around to Suge. He's taller than me. I turned my neck up and I said, hey, look, man, I just wrote a song that I finished before y'all got back. I thought this would be the best time to present it. He said, good, because you up next. That's how that went. And then I sung the song, was almost not a dry eye in the room. I mean, Hammer, his crew, everybody was with their arms around each other when I finished singing the song. As I was singing the song, they was like in a circle. It was about 2-3 different circles in that room, like where they was like unifying, let me sing my song. But after that, every time I saw the Outlaws, sing that song for us. DR, sing that song you wrote for Pop. But that was another situation.